This guy, his name is David Maina, and he's an inspector, right? So what happened was he wanted to throw a tear gas canister at peaceful protesters in Kenya, and the entire thing basically backfired. And it's as if these people, when they get up there, the power just get goes into their heads. Plus they give these people like pew pews, and then they have the uniform, which is, symbolizes authority, and it just gets into their heads, and now they don't know how to think, they don't know how to act, they just be zagu 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 everywhere, acting a fool. Hi, Wardrum, are you there?
Hello. Yeah, how you doing?
Hi, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
was just going to say, it's when you like in America, you see a lot of, black cops. It's just like the guy in Memphis, Tennessee that got beat to death by a bunch of black cops. When they get in a proximity to power, they completely turn their back on the rest of us. You know what I mean? It's like
mm,
when once they get around government and they start rubbing shoulders with certain people, they forget who they are, and they'll do anything. They forget that they come from us. I mean, no matter where they are in the world, they could be in Europe, America, Africa, even. That's all I was going to say. It's just that a lot of people seem to forget that these people, once they wear the badge, they're not with us anymore. They've never turned around to help. They don't come around like the cops you see in the movies where the cop's the good guy and stuff. You don't see that. That's not how it happens.
mm. Yeah, and this seems to be a pattern that we see happening everywhere. And I wonder what it is. Like, what is excuse me, what is the reason why they just so easily forget? Like, why is it that the power just gets into their head so easily, and then they forget where they are from and where they are supposed to be on?
Yeah, it baffles me too. I don't know. It's like they think they're gonna make it to the next level or something. Maybe I'm not sure. It's like they just totally forget. Back in the '80s, back when I was a kid, and the Klan used to have rallies and stuff. Still, they would march and do all of that, and that was when I first noticed that they would have black cops protecting the Klan in America. And from that moment on, I never wanted to be a cop again because they just use you, and you wind up doing bad things to your own people. It's just not a good look. It's not a good place to be. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's weird. A lot of our people just go in the opposite direction. They run away from who they are and what they are. Maybe it's self hate. That's what I like to attribute it to, but I haven't done a study on it, so I don't know.
Like, I can understand the ones that, not saying I agree with these ones, but the ones that actually get some monetary compensation, like a
Hmm.
good money out of the nasty behavior. um to some degree I can understand, at least they are getting good money out of it. But people like this guy that they don't get anything juicy.
Yeah, maybe he thought he was going to, gain a little political power, become like a mayor or something. I don't know if they have mayors in Kenya.
He definitely cannot.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
that's maybe that's what he thought. That's what people would do here in America. But I'm like I say, I'm not aware of how political systems work in all the countries. So,
Mm, okay, thank you very
all right.
much, brother. Do you have more you want to add, or that's it?
Oh no, that's all. I was just going to say a little part. I don't. I want to look at it more too, like you say on the next live that you have. I think it's uh, a lot of things that's intertwined. We're just looking at the surface of what's really happening. It's something more
Mm,
going on.
okay,
All right.
thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
I really love his display picture. I tell him every time. I've seen it twice or three times now, if I'm not mistaken. I love it. So after I ended the live, I was curious about what Mr. Waldrum said about black police officers protecting KKK members when they rally. So I went on the internet and did a quick Google search, and I did come by a few pictures from some years back. I think I came by a story from 7 years ago, and it was this photo here. I think this was posted to Facebook or something, yeah. And this person said this photo is powerful. This is Charlottesville police officer Nash serving our community and protecting the KKK's First Amendment rights, even though the very people he's protecting hate him because of his race. Officer Nash is a hero in my eyes. I cannot imagine the restraint, professionalism, and self control it takes to stay calm and do your job while dealing with the KKK and people giving Nazi salutes. I also came by this post that reads Freedom of Speech Black Officer Protecting Freedom of Speech at a KKK Rally in the Deep South. When I looked this up, I was like, nah, I really do need to incorporate it into this video, seeing as I am cutting up the live and reposting it, because this right here is a typical example, another typical example of what I mentioned in the live where when I said, when does your job and your responsibility and the things you have to do start becoming you fighting against your own interests, as we see now in the situation of this particular inspector guy from Kenya. And also, as we see in this situation of the black police officers who are present at, KKK rallies and are there to protect the KKK members. Like, the KKK members are there rallying for and fighting for things that are not going to be of benefit to these black officers, right? And to the entirety of the black race globally. But there they are, because their job requires for them to be there and, in quotes, do their job to protect and serve. And here they are now protecting and serving the people who are out there literally on the street trying to make sure life is difficult for them. Or hell, trying to make sure they don't even exist either in the country or on this earth altogether. Because that's how much these people hate black people, okay? And can we talk about how much of a risk to their life this was for them just being there present at the rally? So you see the contradiction here. You see the confusion. You see the conflict of interest that can't be any more glaring. You see how their action of doing their job is counterproductive to what they want, is them working against their best interest. Now, I know the dynamic between the Kenyan police officer who lost both his forearms in Kenya and the black police officers in the US of A who, are present during KKK rally are different. But if you look at these two situations, while of course there is a racial and political difference, you can see a parallel. You can see the similarities between the actions of these police officers, even though they are like worlds apart, continents apart. They were both working against their best interest. And I know I have been hammering on this Kenyan police officer who lost both his forearms, but this doesn't exclude them other police officers who were present on ground during the protest against the Finance Bill 2024 in Kenya. They too, all of them, whether they hurt anybody or not, they all were fighting against their best interests. Because if we peel this ish all back, right, the majority of them, none of what they did or are doing during this entire time that this protest has been going on would benefit them in any way positively. Yes, they would get their little coins at the end of the month, in quotes, their salary, but on the long run, what they are doing right now, how would it benefit them and their future generations to come? They are on here on the streets fighting for them politicians who don't give a damn about them politicians who have already fattened their pockets, their generations to come would not need to lift a finger. They'll be well taken care of. That's the group of people these people choose to take orders from and go fight for and protect their interests on the streets, and then hurt the people who are actually on the streets fighting for their benefits, fighting to get things that they too benefit from. Like, I sometimes find myself wondering, when these people take this what do you call these orders, and then you go out to start doing these things, like, in the moment, do they think about how these things are affecting them, and if they're even supposed to be doing these things? I wonder, right? So when Mr. Waldrum said that the reason why he didn't join the police force was because he came to the realization that they make Black people do things that are going to be counterproductive to the things that they actually want, I really could relate to that, because I too can never for the life of me join the police force, even in my country, Nigeria. Hell, even the military in my own country, I can't join, for the singular reason that these people are only there to protect the interests of those wicked people up top there we call our leaders, in quotes, and they are not there for the people. Hell, they hurt the people, the everyday people. And I am not bloody going to put myself in such an institution, such an organization, such a force where I'm going to be receiving such diabolical orders to do some crazy ish. Like, I really can't. Like, look at what they did to innocent Nigerians during the NSAS protest at the Lekki toll gates in Lagos. That's diabolical. Like, these people are supposed to be protecting and serving the people, but if we really want to peel it all back, they are not here for the people. They are not here for us. Hence why they don't find it difficult to hurt us when they get their crazy orders, right, to do so. Because they're actually there to protect these sick politicians and the interests of the West, if you really want to talk about it. Because the West are puppeting the leaders, right? And then these puppets that have lost their brains, they are not the ones thinking here, then give these crazy orders to these uniform men, and then they come to, like, like, the whole thing is crazy if we really want to talk about it. And yes, I know there are good ones out there in the police force and in the military, but at its core, the entire system is messed up. And until, if I don't know it's going to happen during my lifetime, hell, I'm not even interested in the military or joining the military, I would say, or joining the police force even. But if I were to want to ever be interested, I'm sure as hell not going to be joining right now. I would take that interest to my grave and try joining in another lifetime where the system is actually made to protect and serve the people. Not with this sick colonial, post-colonial arrangement we have going, where everything, literally all the systems, from the educational system to the religious system to the military system, police system, or uniform men force system, whatever you want to call it, political system, so-called democracy, the type we have right now, literally everything we have is rotten. It needs a revamp. Like, throw the old ish away and tailor it again from scratch, right? That would actually start to make sense. Maybe then I would join if I have the interest then, but say right now, my opinion, throw the entire thing away and let's start this entire thing again from scratch. Let's start from the ground up. Let's go back to the foundation and start the work from then. Until then, nah. This one right now, the way it is, it's not for the people. I am for the people, so I'm not going to be joining any organization that I can see clearly. Just looking at it, you really don't even need to dig deep into it. Any organization that I see is not going to be for me and my people. I really don't want any part of it. And this is why I am more on the mission of tearing down these colonial systems and not joining them. Hence why, even though I am a trained teacher, I am a trained educational manager, I can't be a teacher. Because I refuse to go into these schools and pick up these colonizers' curriculum and continue to use them like they're actually good and working for us as a people when they are not. While simultaneously, whether I want to or not, I would be actually, because I'm using the colonizers' curriculum, I would be helping them colonizers achieve their aims and objectives. So yeah, when brother said that, he didn't want to join the police force in the US, because he saw through the system and what they make police officers do, or what it turned the black police officers into, and he doesn't want to be none of that. I'm like, yeah, I can relate 100% because I feel the exact same way about the setup we have over here in my country as well. But guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, as always, I would see you guys in the next one.